I'm easily distracted and my brain is often telling me that I need to be doing something else. Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Cecily, also known as Bad Fat Black Girl. I'm a writer, I'm an entertainment journalist, I'm a trap feminist, and I want to talk you through my writing process. So, in case it wasn't clear, I'm a writer. I have been published in the New York Times. I was senior entertainment editor at Nylon Magazine. I was senior entertainment writer at Refinery 29. I wrote for the Daily Metro. I've been writing in a professional capacity for about 8 years now, but I would say that being a writer is something that has just kind of come naturally to me. And right now I'm actually writing my first book. So I'm spending a lot of time at the laptop, banging it out. Speaking of banging it out, you all are catching me in between sets right now. Please forgive me. I feel extremely ugly and self-conscious. I can type with nails, but I definitely type better and faster without them. And so I wasn't in a hurry to put a fresh set of press-ons back on my nails because I am kind of in the thick of writing right now, which is also what inspired this video. So please forgive me. Before we get into all that, I need you to make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. And you know what? We're gonna actually do a quick little writing prompt. It's gonna be a practice writing prompt, okay? Leave a comment right now explaining to me in one sentence, what was your first experience either with writer's block or writer's high? All right, now let's get to it. I want to say that even though I do have a lot of experience in writing, I would like to let folks know that I did not go to school for creative writing or journalism or anything like that. That is not my educational background. What I'm going to talk to you about in this video is very informal, and it's kind of just what has worked for me. So with that being said, I want to talk about two things. The first thing is kind of the vibe, the external, kind of like the ideal setting in which I need to write, because that's such a huge part of my writing process, is just that ritual of getting set up. And then the second part I'll talk about is starting to get words down on paper. So I actually prefer to write in a nice, comfortable outdoor space. So actually, if there's like a patio or a park or like even poolside or just anywhere where I'm like outdoors, but I also have somewhere comfortable to sit. So like, I don't know if I would be comfortable just like sitting out in the grass on my laptop, but you know, if there was somewhere where I could kind of like lounge back, kick back, or at least have a comfy chair, I prefer that. Right now there's a heat wave in Brooklyn and it's raining, so who the fuck finna be outside? Because it ain't me. All right. So in those cases, when I have to write indoors, which is a lot of the time, I mean, I've lived in states that have winter my whole life, so I mean, you know, there are significant amounts of time during the year where I'm not able to go outside. When I'm inside, I also need to have a couple of things. The first thing I always do is light a candle. There is something about having just the relaxing ambiance of a scent that I like that is so helpful to me. I feel like it really helps me stay in a state of concentration. In terms of music, so shout out to my friend Chris, who is an amazing fashion designer. Chris, whenever I will go over my homegirl Chris' house, Chris will always be listening to this one DJ on YouTube who makes these long mixes. His name is DJ Raphael. Chris would listen to his soulful house mixes, but he also does like these like gospel house type mixes, and he also has a playlist of all his chilled hip hop and neo soul mixes. That's my shit right there. And that works for me because I can't just put on music that I know. Like, I can't just throw SZA's album on while I'm writing. I can't just throw lemonade on while I'm writing, because if I know the words to the song, I will subconsciously start typing the words that I'm like trying to sing along with on the page. I like Raphael's mixes because they're so long. The genre itself is so niche, and just a lot of those songs I haven't heard anymore, and they just sound more like instrumentals. So I just get to vibe out to them. Another alternative for that same kind of vibe that is more instrumental is the lo-fi, I think it's called like lo-fi vibes playlist on Spotify. The problem with both of those though is that they require me to be on Wi-Fi, and I'll tell you why that's a problem for me in just a second. But the alternative that I've come up with is that I started to build a work vibes playlist separate in Spotify that I've downloaded so that I can continue to listen and like have the music that I want to listen to while I'm doing work, even when I'm offline. And then a completely separate option, when I was in graduate school, when I had to write my master's thesis, this was actually super helpful. There is an app or website, if you just want to go to the desktop application, called Coffeetivity. And it literally, I don't know who came up with this, but they are so fucking genius. It literally just plays coffee house sounds in the background. Like, close your eyes right now and imagine what a coffee house sounds like. Maybe some chattering in the background, maybe some dishes clinking, maybe, you know, just some talking, some doors opening and closing, maybe some footsteps. It literally just plays that sound on a continuous loop. And honestly, for folks who cannot listen to music while they study or write or anything, that might also be super, super helpful for you. I haven't done that in a while, but I have done it in the past, and it's super, super helpful. So that's also another option. So I have my candle lit. I have my mood music or my mood sounds. If you have noise canceling headphones, those are great. If not, whatever. I just really need to make sure that I am relaxed. It's not a lot of distractions around me. So that brings me to the third thing that I usually do, which is I turn my Wi-Fi off on my computer, and I put my cell phone in a place where I can't even see it. And the reason for that is that I have no fucking self-control. And if not, I'll type a sentence, twitter.com, type a sentence, facebook.com, type a sentence, scrolling through Instagram. And you know, every time you go to one of those sites, you can end up there for 20 or 30 minutes. Don't let me decide that I need something, amazon.com, ASOS. I'm easily distracted, and my brain is often telling me that I need to be doing something else. And just being able to get that you're not connected to the internet, sis, is often like oh shit, let me just get back to what I need to be doing. That's especially helpful for me right now when I'm writing my book and I have to accomplish a large amount of writing in a limited amount of time. Sometimes I'll keep my Wi-Fi on if I'm just working on like a piece for an outlet, you know, like just like an article, you know, between 1,000 and 2,000 words. And oftentimes in those cases, I need the internet because I'm like researching and referencing things like that. But it definitely still serves as a distraction, but because I don't have as much to produce, I can spare a little bit of extra time on it. But turning off the Wi-Fi has been a game changer. So when I do that, I'm either working in a Microsoft Word document, or I am making the Google document that I'm working in offline so that I can still work on it as I go. And, this is a bonus tip for folks who might really need that extra push to stay on track. Try the Pomodoro Method. The Pomodoro Method of working is where you have a set amount of time that you work. Is usually 25 minutes. You work silently for 25 minutes, absolutely zero interruptions. You do not stop writing. You do not click another tab. You do not do anything for 25 minutes. And then you get a 5-minute break. That's when you get to open up your phone, check your text messages, maybe send an email or two. Take that 5 minutes. 5 minutes is over. You do another 25 minutes. You have another 5-minute break. You complete that cycle 3 times. And then after your third stretch of 25 minutes, then you get to have a 30-minute break. And then you start the cycle all over again. That was also super helpful for me when I was in graduate school. I will admit it's less helpful for me now in the type of writing that I do, but when I was in grad school, I used it all the time. Me and my homegirl, Lacey, my wife. That's what I would say in terms of just like getting the vibe right to facilitate writing. Now, in terms of actually getting words down on the page, so let me clarify that most of the writing that I've done up to this point has been nonfiction. It has been articles, interviews. In the case of my book, I'm writing a memoir / book of essays on trap feminism and Black womanhood and my experiences and things like that. So for me, there's always a starting place for the writing in the first place. I've either already pitched the idea that I've had, or, I already submitted a book proposal. Side note, let me know in the comments if you all want a separate video on like how I got my book deal, or just more questions about my career as a writer. Just in case some of the things I talk about here might not be as clear, just let me know in the comments what else you might want to know about. That's the kind of writing I do. And so there's always some kind of starting point. There's always some kind of prompt. There's always some kind of jumping off place to start from. I think that might be a little bit less so with folks who maybe are writing fiction. Actually, no. I mean, you always have an idea. You literally always have an idea for something, which is why you would want or need to write anyway. If you are at a place where you're like, oh my God, how do I start this? Write that down first. This is a piece about jeans or whatever you're writing about, right? Some questions that always need to be answered for your reader are why you're writing this, why you care about this, why it's important, why it matters. In other words, some context. And sometimes to me, that's the easiest place to start writing, because a lot of that is just like facts and logistics and, okay, so like, for example, if I'm responding to a show, right, like it's a very easy place to start from. Like, okay, let me tell y'all what happened on this episode of Insecure. I might not type those exact words, but it just helps to kind of start answering what am I doing here? It's like literally, if I get in front of a page and it's blank and I'm intimidated by that, because honestly, as a writer, sometimes that is the scariest shit that you will ever see, that blank page staring back at you. But when I'm in that place, why am I here is something that will immediately start to fill the page up that I can start working on. Another thing that I do is word vomit onto the page. It's where I literally just type stream of consciousness. It doesn't have to make sense. It can be very nonsensical. I type until I feel like I get it all out. And then I basically go back in and start to both flesh that out and clean it up. So I might stream of consciousness type like 4 sentences, and then those 4 sentences can easily turn into 2.5 paragraphs. The other process that I sometimes do when I'm writing is to use voice notes. One of my big issues when I'm writing is that I feel it's like mental constipation, where like all the ideas are here, and like I am like I'm writing the same words 15 times. It's like they just won't come out. It's literally like mental constipation. And or sometimes it just feels like the words cannot come out fast enough as they come to me in my head. So that is when I actually will either take out my phone or turn on some type of recorder on my laptop and literally just start to talk it out. Talk about it like I'm talking to my homegirl on the phone, or explaining it to an editor in a pitch meeting. Or it could just be like this specific thought that I have that I don't want to forget. I talk it out in voice notes and then have that on hand so that either I can listen to it back, figure out how I would maybe say it differently, or when I want to revisit that point later, I have it. available to me. Often go, I don't know, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if this is helpful or not. I often, when I'm reading, if I feel like I get stuck, I go back to the beginning of whatever I'm writing and I read it from beginning to end. And then that helps me, because I look at everything I write as like a story. I go back to the beginning, I start reading again, and I feel like, oh, is this a story that makes sense? Like, does it have like a beginning, a middle, and an end? Like, is it a kind of cohesive thought? Like, is this piece collectively a cohesive thought? So sometimes just going back to the beginning is also helpful to me in that way. Just in terms of making sure the shit makes sense. So that's essentially my process. And I do that until I am done, I guess, or, until I hit my word count, until I've made all of my points. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful to you, if I left anything out. If you have any other questions, please share your tips if you are also a writer, in terms of what you do to get those words on the page. I'm always looking for other kinds of inspiration. And as always, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, y'all. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Come on. Don't embarrass me. Thank y'all so much for watching.